Welcome back to another episode of TVGP's We Roguelike It, the show we play every roguelike in history. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpier.
I hate you.
And Monkey Senior.
Hello.
This is our second and final week of playing the OG, the original roguelike, the Rogue.
The Rogue One, as we
discussed. Son of a... I already forgot about that. Yeah,
I keep telling you, Boston, this is the way.
Oh, God. Dying. I'll just die one of these times.
Same joke 2 episodes in a row. Sorry about that, folks, but I have to get them every chance I can.
It's a glitch in the Matrix when you see the same cat twice. So, how did everybody's dungeon spelunking go this time?
Yeah.
Did anybody beat it?
No.
No, we did not.
No
Yes,
chance.
Pretty hard.
we found one that broke, Monkey. Yes, we found it.
On a short enough timeline. Yeah, I as much as I really enjoy playing this game, man, is it tough. Like, I feel like the difficulty of this game is what people usually talk about with roguelikes, where it's, such a reliance on randomness and kind of letting the dice roll and take your playthrough. Like, that's really what Rogue is like.
Yeah. I'll be honest here. I didn't have a whole lot of time to play this week, so I was busy focusing on other things, like, I don't know, maybe Game of the Year being recorded around this time.
I wish I had more time to play it this week, because as I said, I'm really enjoying it, but it's sort of like, I have to edit 15 episodes this week. I need to get Game of the Year going. All right, so not a lot of time for that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I did play it a bunch, but I don't know, it kind of feels like nothing really happened when I was playing it, right? I was having a lot of fun with it, but it's just I don't have any notes really. So it was
I think I know why. It's because this is probably the first true roguelike that we've played, not including Boston's favorite game of all time, Darkest Dungeons, and not including the Darkest Dungeons ripoff that we played. There is very limited progression in this. It's this is your build, get used to it, you're stuck with it.
This is your run, here's your tools, go crazy.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm glad that roguelites have come to embrace the progression thing.
Yes.
It feels like a very good, logical way to allow people to continue to play the same thing over and over again and be invested in it. Thank you, Dead Space, for your JRPG, not Dead Space, Dead Rising, for your level-based system, which persisted after death, which allowed this kind of thing to evolve. Shall we talk about one of the best roguelikes of all time, by the way?
God, Dead Rising is so good. It's still on our list somewhere.
Yes.
First Dead Rising, yeah.
Yeah,
well, and I think that's the interesting...
What this is missing.
Oh. Yeah, well, and I think for me, that's kind of a boon and a negative to this, where it's like, I think it's obviously we're so used to the trappings of the genre at this point, especially with there being a huge hit coming out this year that will probably be at the top of pretty much everyone's top 10 list. But I feel like I kind of appreciate the simplicity of it, where it's like, all right, you have finished that run, you're starting with a brand new one, and anything is possible, and there are no positives or negatives carried over from it, and you might get a 2-minute run, you might get an hour-long run where you go get the amulet and you're halfway back and you lose. I think there's I kind of appreciate the positives and negatives, but if I had to choose, I'd say that, I like the roguelite, run over run, account level progression of kind of the modern stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It feels like it's the only thing this thing's really missing.
Yeah. I'm sure someone out there has put together like I haven't played the newest Sharon the Wanderer, and I think those have introduced some progression stuff. But all right, any last notes here before we turn this over to the scientist for ranking?
No, it's a solid game. It's
$3 and like
yeah.
it takes you 5 minutes to learn. Like it's one of those things where it's like
to learn based on the F1 knowledge.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Was that a game changer for you, by the way? No one...
100%. Yeah, just like just
I know
real
the controls. I can play.
Yeah, feeling real silly about that one. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you might like it, you might not. You're probably not going to spend. It's probably not going to be your 200-hour game you've played this year, but I think it's something. If you like the genre, it's probably something you should try out.
Yeah, it's worth a glance. And even if you don't want to pay $3 for it, go get yourself some DOSBox, and I'm pretty sure there's a version out there somewhere.
Yeah, it's freeware at this point, so like you can probably download a million different versions. All right, before we go over to the ranking, we're out here to talk about our next game. Behind the scenes, we're off for 2 weeks. I think there'll be a lull in episodes coming out here, which means that we have this a rare opportunity to play something a little bit longer.
Yeah, excuses. We all know the reason why this is coming up.
I floated it, and you guys agreed. Don't make it sound like I'm some sort of dictator.
Agreed. Monkey agreed. I didn't agree to this nonsense. Monkey did. Unfortunately, due to the power of democratic parties, we are.
I remember something different.
Outvoted.
I think you were swayed by this being on Game Pass.
Dude, I bought this game like literally 2 years ago and haven't ever launched it.
Oh, perfect. What great timing. The game we're talking about is Enter the Gungeon. Yeah. If I had a better singing voice, I would sing the intro. But we're going to play Enter the Gungeon. That'll be our next one. That'll be a 4-week one. Since we're off for 2 weeks, that means we'll get kind of a good introduction for a couple of weeks here, because Lord knows this game is real big. And we'll see how this fares. It's one of my favorites, and I haven't played it for a while. So I'll probably start a new. I'll start a new save file and sort of play along at the beginning to see how that is. I haven't played the tutorial in a while, so our next game after our 2-week vacation is going to be Enter the Gungeon, and we'll see you all next run.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.